That's my dad. We had the best day ever today. Walked in the forest and whiled the hours away. Talked about the trees and the birds in the air.
I heard something small down in these dead leaves down here.
Was it like?
Kind of sounded like a snake.
Maybe a squirrel, maybe?
Yeah, it kind of just had that sound of like a snake. It was just kind of a constant, kind of a sliding sound. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it, but I heard it. You should definitely watch, because you might see a little animal or two. There's another little animal trail over there. See it? That one's smaller, though.
Yeah, that's probably a deal.
Maybe, but deer are kind of taller. What do you think could go through there?
Google?
Yeah, they could be kind of short like that. A bobcat. We got lots of bobcats around here.
A coyote?
Coyotes for sure, yeah. There's another one right there.
There's a lot of animal trails.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one leads to the same point.
Yeah. There's a big pile of brush back there from the last time this property was logged, maybe 15 years ago. And so something could have dug a den in there. This is kind of, see that how that big stack of logs is there? That's kind of what that looks like over there, but it's bigger. It's a lot bigger. This stump right here, you see this big one? See how the plants are kind of growing up on top of it? I think it's kind of cool. It looks like a hairdo on a head, kind of, right?
Yeah, or like a bird could have made like an eagle could have made a nest in there.
Almost looks like a nest, but I think it's just a plant growing.
Yeah, but an eagle could make a nest in there. What kind of hair does that look like?
Well, it looks like a mountain lion pooed right there.
Yeah.
You see the poo right there? And then it's got a bunch of hair in it.
Yeah, so
Now, it could be coyote poop.
Yeah, but maybe like it ate something and then spit out the hair or something.
Because there's definitely poop right there. And then this hair kind of looks like...
Like a bobcat hair or something?
I don't know. I'm not going to investigate it too close. It kind of looks like deer hair to me.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's hard to say after it's been through an animal. Oh, look. Actually, it might be rabbit hair. You see the bones right by your toes?
Oh, yeah.
Those look like maybe rabbit bones. Like a coyote or a bobcat or cougar might have eaten a rabbit here and then pooped on its way by. Or something else might have come along and pooped. Sometimes, do you know what animals do with their poop? Sometimes they mark. There's another bone right there. You see it? Sometimes they mark their territory. And so if another animal was here and left a lot of smell while it was eating, sometimes another animal can come along and poop right on that spot to mark it as their territory. Because something definitely ate some kind of animal here. I think those are rabbit hip bones right there.
So where's the other bone that you saw there?
The other bone? Right here. Looks like a leg bone.
Oh.
It's all chewed on.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was probably a rabbit that got eaten. It's a little hard to tell because the bones are so chewed on. It looks like maybe even mice chewed on them after the bigger animal did. There's little tiny mouth chew marks on it. A lot of times bones like that and antlers and things get chewed up by mice. Otherwise the whole woods would be full of bones.
A snake.
Oh, there's a snake there. Good eye. I didn't even see him.
I can barely see him on the camera.
Yeah, he's there. The screen on this camera is not very big, is it?
Yeah.
Let's go by him. Let's just leave him there.
There's another poo.
Oh yeah, let's see. That one's pretty fresh. Looks like a bear poo.
There's more of it right there. Kind of under the phone.
It might be a dog.
Maybe.
Actually, that kind of looks like dog. Here, let me go around it.
And make sure that it doesn't
I can't really tell if that's... No, it's definitely bear because there's a whole bunch right here. So walk around on the edge so you don't get it all over you.
Yeah, the salmon, the tiny trees, gets angry at me
Yeah.
if I get them too dirty or stuff.
Well,
She just handed them down to me a few weeks ago.
well, once she hands them down to you, she doesn't really have a say in what happens to them, does she? Yeah, look at here. See, the fern is pushed over. I think that bear that pooed back there might have pushed this over. Maybe. Good thing we got our bear spray.
What are those orange flowers?
Orange flowers. Oh wow, that is pretty. I am not sure what that flower is. It seems to be growing on some kind of a vine. Should we go look closer at it? You have the best eyes. I didn't even notice that one. Wow, that is pretty. It is this vine right here. This looks like... Oh yeah. This... More flowers? Oh yeah. This looks like maybe last year's vine. See it? You'll see how it's dead and dry? And then this is growing out of that same vine. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody knows what kind of flower that is and they can tell us. That's pretty cool. And there's more in the tree up there.
Yeah, I told you.
This, I think, is a dogwood tree. Yeah. I think that's what it is. See the flowers on it?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's dogwood. These are a little pale, but sometimes they're maybe earlier in the season, they're really bright.
Dad, there's a yellow caterpillar on you.
Is there? Right on my arm? Yeah, got rid of him. Did it get you?
Nope. It landed right there.
Cool. Yeah, this is a dogwood tree. People put these in their yards as flowering ornamental trees, but this one's natural. This one kind of planted itself there.
How rare are dogwood trees in the wild?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a dogwood tree in the wild, a wild dogwood tree before. This is a pretty cool spot though, because we've got our dogwood tree, whatever this orange vine growing is, and I don't have a clue what that is. And then this is like a huckleberry bush growing out of an old stump.
I really like huckleberries.
What else is around here? What else do you see?
I can actually see the sky.
Yeah, you can see the sky because the trees aren't very big here.
Oh, I hear a plane.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dead trees. That makes me worried for our forest. Because sometimes it's bugs. There's beetles that can get in bark and they'll kill the tree. And if you let them sit there, the beetles just multiply. So you cut them down and you get them out of there. Because it'll go from one tree to another.
Get past these thorns and go up.
Yeah, it's pretty thorny right there, wasn't it? Should we go down this way more? Nope, we came from up that way. There's a chipmunk not very happy with us. You can hear him whistling.
Yeah, chipmunks and squirrels can be really
Okay, it's pretty thorny right here, so I'm going to stomp the thorns down a little bit. Okay? A little bit narrow. This is the area I had to use the weed whacker a lot because it was so narrow and full of blackberries. The blackberries sure are growing back. They're going to take this trail right over again. What or what? Oh, I'm not sure that I know the right name for this, but I think it's called Salao. And when these blossoms turn into a very dark purple berry. But I know that people harvest it for some reason. I don't know if they use it for some kind of a medicine or what. But I'm pretty sure that's what that plant is called. Someone told me that a long time ago, but the person who told me that, I don't necessarily trust what they told me, so I need to look it up.
Hey, look, there's a bee.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them. That one kind of looks like a mason bee.
Yeah, we have mason bees at all.
Mm-hmm.
Regular property.
Yeah.
I wish we had built the house here yet.
Yeah, I wish we had it done too, sweetheart.
Oh, Dad, is that the flower we found on my birthday? Except the one we found was 4 years old. Is that the same color?
I think we saw Trillium on your birthday, and that is not Trillium. That's Thimbleberry, kind of a wild blackberry, I think.
Yeah, we saw the...
And that's what all this is. We're walking through blackberries right now. Ooh, that one's a stinging nettle. Don't let your skin touch that one. The brush is growing in the extreme out here. It's all that rain we got. It's supposed to be 80 degrees by Saturday.
Saturday I wanted to go in a pool. Or a lake at 80 degrees because we got it coming in and stuff. So,
Yeah. Oh, there's another big bear poop. Look at that.
oh, gross.
Yeah.
That looks just like the one we found earlier.
Yeah, that one's all full of hair though. Look at it. Looks like deer hair in it.
Yeah.
Black bears tend to prey on deer fawns a lot in the fawning season. Check this out. That's a footprint. You see the toe marks?
Oh, yeah. Over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big palm.
Yeah.
So it's walking this way.
Yeah, you can see footprints all along here.
Yeah. So,
It's probably the bear that left that poo over there.
yeah.
You want to count some tree rings for me?
That's a lot of wings.
Why don't we count? I'll help. Why don't we count from here to the center?
That's going to be hundreds.
It's probably pretty close. Some of these are teeny tiny. See how small they are?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool though, right? Okay, I'll start. 1, 2, 3. No, don't put your shadow on it. There you go. You'll have to keep your shadow off or the camera won't be able to see. We'll start over. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Now they start to get smaller. 30. Can you move your head a little bit so that's off the shadow? There you go. Was that 30?
Yeah.
31, 32. Now they're tiny. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Now they're teeny tiny. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. They're so tiny here.
Yeah. Like I can barely...
Did I say 52 for the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna keep going. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. They're so small I can hardly tell one ring from the other. 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. There's a whole bunch together. I'm kind of picked the wrong spots. Let's scoot over. How about there? What number was I on?
79.
79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. We counted 106 rings on that tree.
So did you get all of them?
I think so. They got so close together there, it was a little hard.
So you got like to here?
Yeah, I got all the way to the center. What was the number again?
106.
106. This one's not even that big. We should go find a bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go over there. There's a bunch of big ones up here.
Oh yeah.
These are really far from the property line too. Can you come through here before I let this go so it doesn't smack you? Come on through. Okay, let me go.
Now that is holly.
Yeah, that's a holly tree. Very good. Do you think holly trees go naturally grow here? Or are they from somewhere else?
I have no idea.
They're actually from somewhere else. They're from Europe. They came over at some point and birds spread the seeds around, but it's an invasive species. We'll have to come back and...
Have them on their property.
Yeah, we've had them on our property too, and some of them were kind of big.
We had a lot, and then where the dog area that you cleared out was, you cleared out some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I cleared out one.
That now are these the flowers that we found on my birthday?
Those are... I don't know what those are, but they're something else. They're not trillium.
Oh yeah, that is a really big stump.
Should we count this one?
That looks a little hard, but sure.
Okay.
Let's see if we can break our record. 106.
Oh, you okay? Did I get you with that plant? I'm gonna climb back up there.
Okay, you did get me, so I did that.
Okay. This one's, it's got salao growing out of it. Okay, why don't we start on this, on the very edge on this side?
Okay.
Think that's,
Yeah.
that'll work. This one was a nice tree.
Yeah.
It only had a little, uh-oh, I was mushed the squishy spot in the very center. I just stuck my finger in it. But that's very small. It was only about the size of a broomstick that was defect in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's count.
Should we count? We'll start here. Ready? You count. Can you see? Is it okay?
I have to get over here.
Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Slow down.
9,
10.
10.
Okay, your head's making a shadow again. I think the camera will have
Right
a...
here is 10.
That's 10.
11, 12, 13,
14,
15,
15. Slow down.
16, 17, 18, 19,
20,
21, 22, 23, 24.
These are big there, huh?
Yeah, 25,
5,
26,
27, 28, 29. Okay, your head's right in the making a shadow where we're counting again. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. They're getting small.
Yeah.
This is getting around to when I was born. Not quite, but getting close. Why don't you step around the other side of the tree? I'll keep my finger right there. Just go this way. That way your shadow won't be on it and we'll be able to count easier. This was 30, what, 37? Was that right?
Yep. That's
So
36.
36, 37,
38, 39.
40.
I can't count anymore.
Okay, 40.
4.
Yeah, I was 4 years old when that tree was that big.
Yep.
Okay, so 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Those were dry years. Look how small those are. And then they get even smaller. Man.
Oh.
So right about 53 years ago, this tree started to grow way faster.
Yeah.
And then all this grew in that 53 years. But what do you think from here, where my finger is, to the center? How old do you think that is? I think it's probably just as old.
Yeah.
So let's try it. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58,
59.
59, 60. These are tiny little rings. I'm gonna come over here a little bigger. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, and then we're into the, at 93 we get into the squishy spot.
Yeah, that's like probably...
But with as tiny as those rings were, that's
40?
Maybe 10 or 20 rings in there.
Yeah, and then you skipped a little bit of...
Did I skip one? Uh-oh.
No, you said like you'd move what or something.
What?
You said you'd move a little farther or something.
Oh, no, remember when it was, I was counting along right here, and I was kind of squishing the rings a little bit, and it was hard to see, so I moved along the ring to where they were a little bit wider in here where I could count easier. But they're so tiny, and this about inch of wood had like 25 years in it. That was crazy. That was a big tree though.
Yeah.
Now this one was a little weird shape. Huh.
Yeah. Look
It's
at
kind of
these lumps.
it's kind of lumpy. This is also a little weird because when they cut this, they cut an angle right there to make the tree fall out back towards where they were on the other guy's property over there. Because if it fallen this way,
Knock down that.
yeah, and there's another big one right there, isn't there?
And it would just slide down a bit.
Yeah. Look at how tiny they are.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, some of these rings are kind of small, but there's like a big area here, but I mean,
Those are really tiny.
those are really tiny rings. That was a really nice log. This really tight grain like this makes nice lumber.
Where's a red ant?
Probably because he's got a home nearby. Yeah, this one's 264. This was a little bit smaller, but see how tight those rings are?
Mm.
That's wild, huh?
And what does 264 mean?
So remember, they cut 357 trees, and when our guys came and they looked at all the trees, they numbered each of them. So we have a list by number of species and size, and then they compared those to trees that were standing, like that one right there. See that standing one right there?
Big spruce? Is that?
That's a cedar, actually.
Oh, looks like spruce.
Nope. Spruce has needles that are like a brush, and they're really kind of like hard, and there's Sitka spruce, I think, has needles all the way around, and there's another kind of spruce that has needles that are only on one side of the branch, but they're harder. This one right here is a hemlock, this little guy.
So that little shorter standing one?
Yeah, this little tiny one right here that's only the size of a baseball bat. This one's a hemlock. It's not very old. I mean, if we looked at this tree, how much it grew when it was that size, it's probably, I don't know, that's probably 30 years old.
That's the size of a baseball bat.
This one right in front of us, right here, babe. You see it right here?
That's not really the size of a baseball bat.
Well, right about at my eye level, it's the size of a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Oops, you dropped your water?
Yeah, but all the way up, it's like 20 feet.
Yeah, these up here, that's a big cedar.
Yeah, and then there's a small little cedar.
Let's go see if we can find, I'm pretty sure there's a stump all the way back there. I can see. Here's a ribbon from their, they marked as their cutting boundary. Because see how they came in all the way up here and cut? But where's the property line? Do you know where our property line is?
Over there.
Well, it runs from way up there in the corner along that tree line and across the middle of this gap down here, and then all the way out to the road where we came in.
Didn't they cut down like 3 acres?
Yeah, about 3 acres. You want to climb up? Do you want to go over this tree right here? It's probably kind of tough to get you over it. It'd probably be easiest if you walked up there, because then you don't have to jump over this hurdle.
Yeah.
Can you get there?
Yeah.
Cool. You're tough.
I'm balancing on a log that's tilted up.
Be careful.
Then this one fell on it.
Yeah. Oh, I see that one that's tilted up.
Whoa.
You all right?
Yep.
You gonna make it?
Whoa.
Awesome job.
Is it on?
Yeah, camera's back on with the new battery, but I think the camera's kind of hot from the sun.
I made it.
You did make it. That's awesome. I think I can get over this part though.
No.
Maybe.
This one's something to do. This one's something to do. It's a good one.
Might have to click my camera on this branch and climb over here.
Look, that might have some bad view.
It might have what? A bad view. Thanks. No, I mean, yeah, it's not a widowmaker if you stay out from under it. It's not too scary.
How do you get to this?
Well, do you think you can come along this part right here? Are you getting hot?
Yeah.
But you're tough.
Should we start heading back now?
We can.
Whoa.
You okay?
Yep. I made it. I water bottle again.
Take my hand.
Ugh.
You okay? Step right on that stuff and you can go right over it.
I think at least like 40 happy days.
Yeah?
40. What kind of berries are those?
I'm not sure.
They're like little green. Oh, real.
Oh, those same orange flowers. Cool. You okay?
Yep. That's one of those little green berries that I found.
Yeah. Those are like the holly looking kind.
Yeah, but
It's not
some of
holly
them
like a
look
tree,
kind
but
of
it's like,
purple.
there's this plant, I don't know what it's called either, but its leaves kind of look like holly.
Mhm. And some of the berries appear.
Yep, they turn purple when they get ripe. I think anything that looks like holly, you want to stay far, far away from.
Yeah.
You think you can scoot underneath that?
Yep. I filled my bottle.
I'll hold it.
How are you gonna get over?
Well, I don't think I'm going to go underneath. You want to take your water? I think I'll just go over here where it's a little lower, and I'll go over it. What?
The dark black soup.
Dark black poop?
That's gross.
It's gross. Where is it?
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of it.
I think that's probably bear poop, too.
We've seen a lot of bear poop.
Yep. Let's go.
It was like this area and the area they really
Yep.
like it.
Bears really like our property.
Wherever we go. Because
Yep.
I saw a...
Whoa! This
Yeah, that
this log's all rotten.
was rotten. But
What kind of poop is this right here?
rabbit or deer?
That's deer poop. It's a lot of it.
It looks like goat poop.
Kind of.
Goat poop and rabbit poop.
Oh, there's more bear poop right under my feet. I think the bears have been pretty active up here. We were clear up there. That's that cedar tree. You see that big one?
Yeah.
That's the one we were standing by. Yep.
Like,
Ooh, he's cutting trees down there.
so did it come in that way?
Yep. You're 100% correct. We go back up the hill right here to get back where we came in.
We went down and now we're going back.
It's good for us.
So this way or this way? Yeah, let's go this way.
Whoa. Whoa, almost break my leg.
Big stumps.
Yeah. Well, that was a piece of loose wood I thought was part of the stump.
I'd be bad if you broke your leg, but then you can walk and then, oh, box gloves.
Yep.
Because then you would break your leg
Yep.
and you can get past.
If you'd have to carry me.
I went on my way and you can walk.
No, you just have to carry me back.
I'm 8.
You can't carry me?
You can't even carry a dog.
You can't carry Dad if it was an emergency?
I can't carry Otis. She's like less than 1. 3 months old.
Are you sure? Oh, here it is. Pushes in my mouth. You really can't carry me?
I can't carry a 44-year-old man.
Nope.
I can't. I'm barely carrying a 3 to 5 months old puppy. Whoa, that's a cool flower. See the white one back there?
White one. Is it down at the ground or? Oh yeah. I think it's just a blackberry flower, but
It's really pretty.
yeah, it's perfect. Do you know what this plant right here is called?
Nope.
Feel it.
It feels like felt.
What?
It feels like felt.
Yeah. It's called mullein. It will grow real tall, like maybe almost as tall as me sometimes, and it'll have yellow flowers. The shape of the flowers will kind of be like foxglove, how that's all the way around the stalk, but they'll be bright yellow. And you can tell mullein. This one has a green spider on it. Check that guy out, hanging right there.
Oh yeah.
You can tell mullein by the shape of its leaves and that they're real soft. If you ever had to go to the bathroom, it makes pretty good toilet paper. When it's green like that.
But not when it has a green spider on it.
No, you want to get rid of the spiders.
This video is just an absolute love letter to Kersti. Kersti, you are so special. You are 8 years old when we filmed this, and you wanted to experience the forest. You wanted a lesson with your pocket knife that you got for your birthday, and you wanted to turn over every leaf and every rock, and it just made my heart swell. Your adventurous spirit is just a reminder to me how special it is to spend time with you, and just to have an innocent learner's mindset about the world. You know, there were lots of things you asked questions about that I didn't know the exact answer to, so I've taken the time and looked up some of those plants that you wondered about and put their scientific names in this video. So when we look back, we'll be able to know things we didn't even know on that day, and we'll keep learning together. Love you, Kersti.